Hi there! Welcome back to the Whole Bucket and to another very exciting episode of How I Cut Up a Paper Pack. Okay, so it's not the most exciting stuff, but there's some information to be shared here in case, people are like, what do I do with this whole big pack of paper? Well, I'm not cutting it up for scrapbooking or for cards. Or look at that cool project. That's actually kind of neat right there. But I'm not cutting it up for any of those purposes. I'm cutting it up for journal making, junk journal and otherwise. And last time I did two-sided scrapbook paper. Today I'm doing single-sided scrapbook paper, and I'm doing this Recollections Dark Academia thing. And I think Recollections, isn't that from Michaels? I think Recollections is from Michaels. Yep, it says so right there. Michaels.com. So I pick these up at Michaels every once in a while. You're not supposed to I too much. I pick these up at Michaels generally when they're on sale. I could have, there, I did it again. I could have picked this one up because I love the books theme, right? So this one might have been on sale. It might not have been. I might have been being a little reckless that day, but scrapbook paper can be expensive. And there I did it again. So this one is supposed to look like leather. It looks a bit more like a flat basketball to me, but it's okay. So the biggest difference in single-sided paper, meaning it's only printed on one side, and double-sided paper is the piece that I'm going to cut first. Ow. Okay, so there are two bits to this piece. First, I'm going to cut the whole thing down to 8 inches. So that's leftovers right now. And then I'm going to cut it to 10 inches. I actually get two pieces of the same journal element out of this. So the first one is this right here. It is 2 inches wide. It is 8 inches tall. And I'm going to score it down the center. This one is 8 inches tall by 10 inches wide, and I'm scoring it down the center also. And then I will show you what I do with these. When you score a thing, it makes a little bit of a valley, a little bit of a dip where it stretches the paper out and creates that place to fold it. And if you want to know which side you should score your paper on, the valley becomes a mountain, is the way to remember that. So it's on this side. I scored it. It made a valley. That's the side I'm going to turn to the... I'm going to turn it into a mountain anyway. Whatever. Words and stuff, you know. So here is what I do with this. This is a piece that goes into the center of a signature. I can make this double wide, so that it would go to both sides of a signature, then it wouldn't have to be in the middle. But typically I will use this in the center of a signature. This piece gets sewn in to the signature without being glued shut. And then this piece gets added later and gets sewn, or not gets sewn in, but gets glued into there. And then it is open. It is a pocket, right? So I can glue this here and glue it into here and have the opening on top. Or I can put this in this direction, glue it on the bottom and yeah, on the bottom and on the top, and then leave this as the opening. So then things would be able to tuck into this side. So I am creating hinges and full pocket pages. You don't have to use this hinge with this pocket either, right? You can make it very decorative, do opposite colors, various things. There's various things you can do. Also, the hinge doesn't have to be glued on the outside. I was just demonstrating a little bit how you can glue the pocket to the outside of the hinge. And that actually leaves you with a bigger opening in the pocket too. So lots of different ways to do that, but that's the general thing, is it's a pocket and a hinge. And I made that one bigger than I intended to. Let me show you quick. Here is one I cut before, and it's actually 9 inches that I want. Because I want this piece to be 4.5 inches across. The reason for that is that the hinge is going to have it sitting out a ways, and because I don't want the pocket sticking out of the book. If I have it set in like this, I don't mind at all having this little bit of matting sort of effect here. That's fine with me. And I don't always keep them 8 inches tall like these are. I might actually cut this down so that it has a space along the top and the side that are showing. But at least if I cut it 8 inches tall, at least then I know it can go the full height of most books that I make, if I want it to. So that is the biggest difference, is that the first piece out of every page that I cut is going to be that one big piece. And then I just keep setting this aside. Here is a difference that doesn't have as much to do with single-sided or double-sided, but has to do with a whole picture. So this whole thing is picture. And while this particular one is not as important and might not be as impressive, whenever I have a picture that I'm going to sit and, dwell on, like, do I want to cut out this little piece and have it just those exact books? Or do I want to cut this out and have it be those 2 books? Or should I follow the lines or not follow the lines? Here's what I do. Turn it upside down and don't even think about it. Just don't even think about it. So I just said how I wanted this to be 9 inches rather than 10. Or no, I wanted 8 inches high. Gosh darn me. What a dork face. I'm going to do a pocket page. Out of this one, and I will actually demonstrate the concept I was just blabbing about in a second. This time I'm going to have to cut off a 1-inch section. So now I have the pocket page, a hinge, and what will be a lovely belly band piece. And then there's my extra section over there. Let me grab a better demonstration piece. So this is another one where it's pictures. You might hem and haw and fuss about what you want to cut out and what you don't. You might want to even fussy cut some of this stuff out, which in this particular case might be a really fun idea. But now I'm going to do this the way I said I was going to. I'm going to take this page, and now the only thing I know for sure is the top. And only because I looked and I flipped it that way, and now I know that's the top. I'm not going to look at it anymore. And what I mean by that is I'm going to cut all kinds of different shapes that I typically use out of a piece, and we're not going to peek. We're just going to keep cutting. So I'll set that aside. One of the pieces that I use on a regular basis is a 5x5. Another one is a 5x7. So there's my 5x5 and my 5x7, and I have no idea what they're going to look like. Then another thing that I like to have is like a 3-inch wide tag. If I have a 3-inch wide tag, I should have done 3.5. Silly girl. I don't really want it 6 inches tall, so I'm gonna go 5.5. 3 by 5.5 is a good number for me. And that's gonna leave me with 2 cards that size and one 1-inch by 3-inch strip. Who knows what that's going to be for? Now this one. This one is now 4 inches wide, which, let me think quick. I kind of want a 4x4. So I want a 4x4 out of this. Oh, shoot. Okay, 2 of the pieces I want, I cut out of this one, I actually don't want. That's all right. They'll get used some other way. I want the rest of this to only be 3.5 inches. So I'm actually going to cut a 1/2 inch strip off. I don't know what in the world I'll do with that, but let's see what it turns out to look like when we turn them all over. And then I want a couple 2.5 inch pieces out of this, and I'll show you why in just a second. We're almost done with this. 2.5 again. I guess we'll get 3 of them. All right, and then we got one other little skinny piece that I'm not sure. Probably go in the scrap bin. Okay, so let me show you what we got out of that. First of all, there is my 5x7, and the reason I like this size is because it is an uncut trading card size, or I could cut this and get 4 trading cards out of it. The other thing that I did like that is these 3 pieces. These are also trading card size, but you can see that they're oriented the opposite way. The only one it really matters on is this one, right? And I don't know that that really matters either, but it's got the labels on the bottom, and that bug goes that way, so there you go. But these are now just plain simple backgrounds. The pictures in them got all cut up, and it's fine. But you know what it avoided? It avoided me sitting fussing about which pieces do I want, what do I not want, what am I going to fussy cut, whatever. And I would sit and fuss for the longest time. So if you're a fussy person like I am, turn the page over. Don't even think about it. There is my 5x5 and my 4x4. Now, the reason I said I didn't actually want those is because I was thinking I need 5x5 and 4x4 for burrito folds. Neither one of those is going to be appropriate for a burrito. But they are pretty darn good tag bits. In fact, let's set that aside. We won't peek at those yet. I think I'll just cut this one in half right now and turn it into tags. So now there's 2 5x2.5 tag bits. And those are great backgrounds for who knows what. Okay, and then this one I'm not sure what I'll do with, because like I said, actually, you know what? No, let's cut this in half too. These are going to end up, these are weird sizes, but that's what I get for forgetting what I was doing. But look how good those cards will be. Those are fabulous little bits as backgrounds. Then there's one of the strips it's got it's got a whole guy on it. And another strip. These are going to go in my scrap box because they're scraps. Let's see if this one's going in the scrap box. Absolutely it is. There's nothing there. It's a lovely scrap though. This would be good for, you know, making some kind of label on. All right, and the last two, these are tag size. Whoops, sorry lady. That's fabulous for a tag and fabulous for a tag. I like both of those. Even though these are cut off like they are, or just these two, right? This frame and this frame both still can, carry the same attitude as these two pictures that are on here. So it's okay that they're chopped up. Anyway, that's how I get usable bits out of whole pictures when I don't want to sit and fuss over what am I going to cut out? Where am I going to cut it? What is it going to wreck? Here's another one. Instead of doing what I think will be tag or card backgrounds, for this one I'm gonna turn it upside down just like I did for the last one, but I'm gonna think of different sizes in mind. So one of the things I'll do right now is I'll cut off a 2-inch strip and then another 2-inch strip. So this one I will keep in mind for hinges for those pocket pages that I showed you. This one, I'm actually not going to differentiate. They'll go into the same pile, 2x12, 2x6, whatever. I'll cut them in half, I think. This one, oh, I forgot we're not peeking yet. This one is because 2x whatever is a good hefty size for words, bookmarks. There we go. So what I want to think of next is any other things that aren't two-sided in the journal or in a journal. One of those things is pockets. And if I just wanted to cut out some basic pocket sizes, I'm going to cut out a 3-inch strip. Three inches is kind of a deep pocket, right? But the thing is, I can fold over the top to make it stronger, or fold up the bottom and in the sides to make them stronger, or to allow for more things to go in. So I'm going to cut this at 3x4 and think of these as pockets when we turn them over and peek. Now I forgot which way is up. I'm going to peek. Sorry. Oh, cheating. I'm cheating at my own system. What else might I want here? A little fold over envelope. Should we do a 4-inch wide cut and maybe make this maybe make that a folding envelope, and maybe, what do we have here? That's also 4 inches. So maybe we'll make both of those folding envelopes and pockets. So let's see what we got. That was an easy one, right? We didn't have to make a whole lot of cuts for this one, but let's see what the pieces look like. So there is a pocket, and there is a pocket, And like I said, I can fold over the lip at the top, or fold it up at the bottom, or I can, you know, fold all the way around. It would certainly end up littler that way, but this is a decent size to be able to fold all those bits over. This is bookmark or hinge territory, or belly band territory. That's actually fabulous for belly bands and hinges and whatever. And so is that. Belly bands, hinges, bookmarks. There we go. Now this one, I think we're going to do this one right now because all it takes is a couple of scores. But let's see which one we're going to try. I'm happy with both of those, but here's the caveat. The center of both of these, if I use it as a pocket, is going to end up covered up. So I think I will try it with this one first, because I think this one's going to turn out pretty good. And I'm not really sure. You know what? Maybe I'm not going to score it, because I think I'm just going to eyeball this. So if I used this as a pocket, you have it upside down, right? So here's the top. I have it upside down, and then what you fold forward ends up upside right. Oh, I know what I can do this. I don't want to cover up all this cool stuff, right? So I think what I'll do is, sit here and hem and haw until everybody just unsubscribes from my channel, because I never actually say words. I'm going to commit and do that right there. And then this part will fold down, and I think I'll turn it into a matchbook. Now you see why I don't cut pages when I'm actually looking at them, because if that's how long it takes me to decide where I'm going to fold a paper, imagine how long it would take me to decide where I'm going to cut a page. But look at that. We have a lovely matchbook. I love that. I don't love that this all got wasted, because I like it. It's very nice. But to be honest, the tablet or the pack of paper had 3 of each page. I have 2 more of this. I can go make more. And besides that, it's paper. Why do I get so bogged down? Let's do the other one just for funsies. So again, we're upside down. I think I will try what I was going to try with the other one and see if I love it or hate it. I'm going to go up way farther. So this is going to be the pocket part, or the envelope part, depending on how I see it at the time. And then this folds over. Now, the reason I regret that, I think, is pretty obvious, because it's got the cool top in there. On the other hand, this is a totally decoratable part, and this looks really nice. So I don't know why I overstress, but if you overstress, yeah, I mean, knock it off. like I should. All right, so anyway, those are 2 nice envelope sizes. Now, for the rest of this, if I have just a plain brown piece of paper, like how unexciting is that? I'm just going to go super fast and do the 8 by 9 and 1 inch off of this thingy. So now I have a dark gray brown pocket piece, hinge piece, and belly band background bit. There you go. A darker leather piece. This is fabulous no matter what we do with it, isn't it? It just is. This one I think might be okay to, first of all, do upside down. And let's get that. This time I do want, think, give me just a second. No, I'm sorry. Let's pull this paper out. I did not know as soon as I pushed the start button, my brain would lock up. So a lot of the paper packs from Recollections and other creators, paper pack creation companies, come with their own cards. For the most part, if they have their own cards and their own fussy cut stuff, I'm just going to follow the regular lines. I'm just going to follow the lines and make the cards as they have them. These bits can be used in a lot of different ways, but if I cut them out the way they have them, it's just such a nice set of easy things to grab, you know? So there are 3 pages of this. I'm not going to cut out all 3 sets of this, but I am cutting this one out just to demonstrate how much stuff you can get out of a single page. And I guess the reason is to illustrate, yes, if you're only doing small time stuff, buying a whole scrapbook pad might be a lot. On the other hand, you really don't have anything to worry about because look at how many options there are. And look at, you can make mistakes and you'll still have more stuff to play with. And design is not an issue. You have just tons of options. Tons. So that's one thing. Oh, I know something I'm forgetting. Okay, I finally got my head together. I'm putting on the one with the letters on it. And again, I'm going to cut the height first. I'm going to cut it at 8.5. And then I'm going to cut 2 pieces at 5.5. This is the piece that would typically be trimmed and then used for that front cover. I'll show you in a second what I mean. So now again, I have a 1-inch piece and 2 front cover pieces, and there is the chunk we cut off. Let me check what way it goes. Oh, this one didn't really matter that much, but it kind of goes this way. So how wide is this? 3.5. So I'm going to cut some 2.5-inch chunks off this because that is trading card size. Two and a half. I think I'll do 2.5 and then leave the last one because that would be a good pocket size. And then let's see what we have. And what's this? Oh, that's just brown. Boring. So there is a piece that can turn into a pocket. there is a trading card piece, and a trading card piece, and a trading card piece. There is a belly band background, or, you know, other things. And here are the two inside cover bits. So those two are this piece right here, this pink purple piece. It would be trimmed to fit whatever book it's going into, right? But it would go like that and be the inside cover. It may or may not have one of those flip out bits right here. So maybe it'll flip out this way. It might have one right here, so it flips over this way. It could have a pocket on the bottom or a tuck spot on either side, or, you know, whatever. There's tons of decorating you can do, but this is the base piece. That's a great thing to cut out of single-sided paper. So there we have those. Let's see if there's anything else in this pile that we should look at before I say I see you next time. Well, here's something that comes in a lot of paper packs, is some border bits. I like these sometimes. I don't use them as often as I really could because they're, you know, they're nice decorative bits. But I don't know why I don't use them as much as I should. I don't even know what I'm trying to say, which seems to be the theme of today's video. Yeah. They're handy though. They come in there, they're handy, they're easy to use, even though I don't use them. They automatically match, so they're great for edging anything. Here we have another page that would be great for those front and back cover pages. So I'm going to go ahead and do that quickly, and we'll see what kind of results we get from this one. So we're going to go 5.5. I could go 5 1/4 because I'm really not going to use 5.5. I'm going to have to trim it every time. That would give me a strip at the end of 1.5 inches, which would be pretty cool. I should really think about that next time I do this. So there's a trading card. There's a trading card. There's a trading card. Almost. And a pocket. And let's see how they turned out. See, this not peeking thing, it just works. I'm telling you, it just works. Even the ones that end up boring and with not much on them, they still have elements and match, and it's going to turn out okay. Let's see where the strip is. And there's a front cover of a journal, or a back cover. Inside cover pieces right there and there. How cool would that be if one of those was in the front cover and one of these was in the back cover? I don't know. You know? Pretty nice stuff, really. So let's see what happens if we do one more. That one's not very interesting. Let's see. Well, this one is not going to be very interesting, but let's use this one anyway as an example for this. So, most of the books that I make are 5.5 inches wide by 8.5 inches tall. Just because of U.S. paper measurements are 8.5 by 11. 11 cut in half is 5.5, and usually I turn regular paper and turn it sideways and fold it, you know. but I don't need it to be 8.5 tall because it's not going to go right up to the edges. It's going to be inset a little bit. So I'm going to call this 8 instead of 8.5. And then the same is true for the width of this. This doesn't have to be 5.5 across because this whole book cover piece is 5.5. But then I have a fabric lining in here to make sure that it's strong. Oh, that's not fabric. That's bookbinding tape. So this one's bookbinding tape, but I have something in there to make it stronger, and then that comes past where the spine and the cover meet, right? So it does, the inside cover piece doesn't have to be the full width. So I'm going to call it 5 1/4. So then I will end up with a strip that's 1.5 inches wide instead of 1, which is probably going to offer more opportunities to use it. 1 inch strip is pretty darn thin. Oh, that's better than I thought. Okay, let's see. Okay, so this is the end that had almost nothing on it. Not a very good demonstration of what I'm trying to say because there's not much there. There's a cover piece though, and there is a cover piece. So just giant books. Wow, that's glary, isn't it? Shadow bits of books. Let's see what card pieces look like. Oh, wait a second. This is a lot wider now. I'm going to cut a strip off this and make it 3.5 inches so that I can do the trading cards on pocket again. I'm liking this as an option for this particular set of papers. Trading card, trading card, trading card, pocket. The trading cards are probably not going to have much on them. These books were really quite large. But they have enough design element on them to make them useful and make them match a set or match an attitude, you know, a feeling. Lastly, for today, I believe, the rest I'm just going to cut out myself. So I have solid color papers. I have those edging strips. I have more of the pre-made cards and tags that I'll cut out in my own time. Here is, can you tell it's foil lined? Foiled keys on black. I'll just cut out some generic pages of that. I'm going to cut out this one. I'm not going to bother turning it over because there's nothing to it. But I think this one in particular would look fun as a inside cover bit. Is this tweed? So there's my belly band sort of piece, and there are my inside cover bits, and I just think that's going to be fun. Yeah, see, it doesn't even go with this journal, and I like it anyway. Yeah, I don't know. I am a little too easily impressed, I think. Anyway, that's about enough. I did a bunch of demonstrating how you get a bunch of pieces ready Look at, that's all it took to get all of this stuff ready to go. Very nicely done. Thanks for visiting. I'm sorry that I am such a wreck today. I may or may not even post this. It's so ridiculous. But, you know, it's the way it is. It happens. So I will see you next time and hopefully have my brain with me when I do show up. Thanks for hanging out. Bye.